your oversight watchdogs. This time, we sat down with Arizona Congressman Dr. Paul Gosar. You represent a big slice of Arizona. What's it like?
We got the Grand Canyon. My district is the top part of the Grand Canyon. In fact, when you go from Flagstaff to Phoenix, you go through 5 microclimates. So you're going almost 6,000, a little over 6,000 feet when you transcend the 140 miles there. But it's very, very mom and pop, small businesses, top to bottom.
What does Arizona need to put people back to work?
Well, first of all, it needs to be able to get the federal government out of the way, having some common sense regulations. We need some regulations, but they need to be common sense, not be dictated. For example, we've got natural resources, mining, we have water, and yet the federal government hasn't allowed us to utilize those appropriately to instill and get people back to work.
How do you bring Arizona values to your work in Washington?
I think it's making sure that you have a connection back with people and talking to folks back home. So I do regular phone calls back to my constituents, making sure that we've got good follow-up.
Dr. Gosar goes the extra mile to represent his people's needs with something called
House Calls, Time to Listen. We started up in Window Rock, minus 23 below zero with very little wind. We had a meeting down in Sholo and then down in Globe. And tonight we're in Superior.
That's what makes it the biggest thing, is dialoguing people, telling them about possibilities for solutions, and then engaging those folks back home, because they're the ones that are going to make the difference. It's communities of interest on the ground floor that are going to make that difference.
Who do you look to for inspiration and strength?
I watch my parents, and they were an inspiration to me. They always taught us that if you saw something wrong, you get involved, or you're as guilty as the people doing the wrong. And you go through your full resources of trying to get that done. And I've watched them fight their whole lives for what their kids, for a better America for their kids.